Western North Carolina is an incredible area, and we have an enormous population of several different Indian nations. And if there's one thing that we have learned just by being in the area is this enormous respect for animals, whether they're alive or dead. And I know, growing up in a very tiny town from hunting experiences, if you kill it, you must utilize it. All of it. You need to eat it, you need to use its pelt, you need to not waste any part of it. You don't kill just to kill and leave it rot. So I think their excuse of running it over is to protect themselves from the federal law of killing an animal without a license, because you have to have a particular license to kill bear. Again, that's just disturbing that there's a license for that and that people actually kill bears. I just don't get that, but whatever. So that's where we stand as of today, that there are 7 individuals. They are currently being held and or will be charged with something, most likely probably misdemeanor, like misdemeanor throwing things on the ground, or just it's going to be a ridiculous charge that they're going to get out of. 2 years ago on campus, we became infamous for another reason. 2 students decided to make what's called a sound bomb. And what that is it's a mixture of lye and tinfoil, and you put it in a Coca-Cola bottle, a big one, and it expands to like quadruple its normal size, and you chuck it out a window and it just bursts and it makes a really loud noise. Nobody gets hurt by it. It's called a sound bomb for a reason. It just makes a really loud noise. Those 2 students were not only expelled from Western, but they are incapable of going to any state school in the state of North Carolina. They can go to a private school if they want to, or they can go to any state around us and finish their education, but they can't, travel down the road and go to UNCA or go to Appalachian State or, any other state school in North Carolina, because they produce something that they were taught how to make in a chemistry class. They were taught how to make it. So it's just ridiculous to me that their prank was not seen as a prank, it was seen as a federal crime, and they were kicked out. And these students who murdered, didn't murder, whatever, dragged a dead bear onto our campus and, stapled signs to its head and left it there for us to see, are not going to be publicly held accountable, is just absolutely unbelievable to me. It makes me sad. It makes me mad. Yesterday, one of the guys that was there, a student graduating this semester in December, said to Chancellor Vardo, I'm graduating and I'm going to go out and look for jobs, and I'm going to hand over my resume when I'm looking for these jobs, and on my resume it's going to say I graduated from Western, and it's going to be fresh in people's mind because I'm going to stay in this area that, oh, you came from that school. And the chancellor's response to him was, oh, but you're very articulate and you will, be able to rise above that. And he was just like, they won't ever ask for me to come in for the interview because all they will see is Western North Carolina. Oh, I don't want to deal with these people. And I just need all of you to know that is not us. 7 individuals do not represent Western North Carolina as a whole. Yes, racism exists. Yes, classism exists. Yes, wildly different political views exist. That's been, the crux of everything that I've posted via YouTube and with Cat Chat is about politics and how important it is to be able to state your opinion. And everybody knows that I am an absolute Obama supporter, and what I'm about to say is upsetting to others, but freedom of speech is freedom of speech. Had these 7 individuals made a figure that looked like Obama and burned him in effigy, I kind of wouldn't have cared. I would have thought they were morons, and that they were small-minded, and, wow, how sad that you had to, spend hours making a fake Obama and then you set him on fire. That would have been my response. But because you used a dead animal, a baby, not even a year-old being, an entity, a life that was once on this planet that you decided to use, that's not a prank. That's not, at some point in that time period, that had to take well over an hour to do. Well over an hour to get the bear into the back of the truck, to bring the bear onto campus, to set it all up, to do all of that. At no point, not one of those individuals stopped and said, ooh, oh, this might be a really bad idea. I don't think we should do this. None of them did that. Why? Because they wanted to do it. They were politically motivated to do it. So it's not a prank. It's not a joke. It's not something that should be taken lightly. It's something that they need to be held accountable for. And I'm starting to get really upset, and I'm going to just start being very aggressively mean towards people, and I don't want to do that. So I just want to say, once again, I've said this every single time, this election is so important. It is so important. I cannot stress how important it is. And if you don't go out and vote, and if your choice of action is to shoot a bear in the head, because he was shot, we don't know by who, but he was shot, shoot a bear in the head, drop him off on a campus and put some signs on him, if that's the way you're going to show your support, wow, you're a loser. You are a loser who has no right to vote in the first place. You have no right stating an opinion in the first place. Once again, this is my view, not the view of Western North Carolina. This is me being agitated and saying what I need to say. But if they had just gone out and voted for McCain, then we wouldn't be having this issue. So, I mean, look at Illinois, Obama's home state of Illinois. There are places that his signs are being written on in black paint with a word that I shall not utter because it's horribly deplorable. I think you all know what I mean. I'll refer to it as the N-word. This is his state. This is where he came from. He's the senator of Illinois, and he has to deal with racism there. So I'm begging you, here in North Carolina, you can still register to vote. Right now, you can still register for voting, and you can vote early at the same time. You can register and vote all at one time, up until the day before you're supposed to actually vote on the September 4th. Please vote on September 4th. I don't care who you vote for. I've said that before. Just vote. Have your voice heard. That way you can actually say that you have the right to complain or congratulate. Either one. You get the right to do that. I'm going to leave it at that. I feel like I'm going to vomit. I am so upset about this. I am so disgusted that 2 years ago we had to deal with stupidity and be the butt end of jokes because of the 2 students who got expelled, for making their bomb. And once again, here we are, right back at the same place. And I'm going to address Western right now. What can you do? What can you do as a student to no longer allow this to take place? Can you think of something that can help you rise above it and also help others rise above it? We're not stupid. We're in college for a reason, right? Right.